Are your players arrogant? Do they walk into rooms without checking for traps like they own the place? Worst of all, do they watch DnD YouTubers? Sounds like you need an Arch-Hag, dastardly dealers, and guaranteed to knock your party down a peg or two. Using a vast array of magic spells, deadly attacks, and legal knowledge, they'll TPK your overconfident players and reassert your place as head of the table. Don't believe me? Here's everything an Arch-Hag has to offer. If an Arch-Hag is coming for your party, they're better off taking a plea deal than stepping into the courtroom, because they won't survive the case. First off, the Hag will be going first. A plus 16 to initiative almost guarantees it. As powerful mages, Arch-Hags have access to spells like Mass Suggestion and Dispel Magic. They'll help them confuse and disrupt your players' plans. But where they really do damage is with their claws. Spectral claws to be exact, which can attack both up close and as far away as 60 feet, dealing an average of 17 force damage and knocking anyone size large or smaller, aka your players, prone, without a save. They get 2 of those every turn, and then can unleash a 60-foot cone of crackling lightning to eviscerate the party. You know, standard lawyer practice. If they fail a DC 22 dex save, they're taking 5d12 lightning damage, and whether they succeed or not, they're cursed, keeping them from taking reactions until the end of the Hag's next turn. And even if all that doesn't blow them away, they're still not done, because the crackling crone can use a bonus action to deal 4d6 more lightning damage to anyone cursed by her. By the time the prosecution rests, your players will be in dire need of one. A long rest. Because they're dying. But even when it's your players' turn to plead their case, the Hag still gets to go. They get 3 legendary actions every round, which they can use to attack with their claws twice, and either move around the battlefield with Dimension Door, or cast Hypnotic Pattern to incapacitate multiple party members. The Arch-Hag will get a conviction. It's only a matter of time. But fine, your players can still try to make their arguments too. Surely Arch-Hags aren't as good of defenders as they are prosecutors, right? Are you even paying attention? Of course they are. Check this out. 20 AC, resistance to cold, fire, and psychic damage, a plus 9 to their dexterity saves, and a plus 11 to wisdom saves. You know, the 2 most important ones. Couple that with advantage on all saves against spells and other magic, and they're not failing. And that's if your party mages can even get their spells off. The Hag can cast Counterspell as a reaction, and as an added bonus, their victim gets cursed if their spell is dealt with, keeping them from casting any magic that uses verbal components till the end of their next turn. And even if, with all that in mind, they do fail a saving throw, they get 4 legendary resistances to just succeed anyway. It's going to be a short fight. I don't think that's the sort of brief you usually see in court, but here we are. Winning a court case often comes down to a battle of wit and words, where both sides try to sway the jury in their favor. To that end, Arch-Hags are master debaters, and that's backed up by the numbers. Their impressive plus 14 to deception looks downright puny in comparison to their ludicrous plus 21 to persuasion. Silver-tongued isn't a strong enough description. That's straight platinum. The other side of that coin is seeing through your party's flimsy attempts at subterfuge. Your players can't win in a straight fight, but they also can't pull a fast one on these magical matrons. Arch-Hags have true sight, so illusions that get passed off as evidence won't fly. Their passive perception is 21, meaning any attempts to sneak the judge a bribe are going to get caught. And if the party attempts to use magic to intimidate or influence the Arch-Hag's mind, they'll be sorry to find out it's immune to being charmed or frightened. Nope, there's no talking their way out of this one. They're going down. Every great lawyer has an incredible office to work out of, and Arch-Hags are no exception. If your players try to face them inside the Hag's lair, they only get more powerful. The Wicked Witch gains an extra legendary resistance, and another legendary action to use every round. We're not just talking comfy chairs and potted plants here, these are some serious benefits. And of course, Arch-Hags know that the best lawyers work as a team. If you want to get to the boss, you gotta go through their coven first. Anytime the Arch-Hag is within 30 feet of 2 other Hags, they gain access to spells like Augury and Scrying. Not the best in a fight, but great for building a case against your players, watching their every move and plotting their legal downfall. And when it's time to throw down, more monsters mean more enemies for your party to deal with, and they'll benefit from their leader knocking heroes prone or incapacitating them with Hypnotic Pattern. When you hire an Arch-Hag, you get a whole lot more. Even when things aren't going quite as well as they hoped, an Arch-Hag is always ready for a quick recess. They get access to plane shift, so before your party can finish their closing statement, they've already teleported out of there, ready to return better prepared for the next court battle. And if the players somehow manage to get rid of all those pesky hit points, the Arch-Hag lives anyway. They teleport to a demi-plane, stew there for a few days, and anyone within 60 feet when they disappeared is cursed, giving them disadvantage on ability checks and saves, while the Hag can track their every move. Looks like their case is going to be retried again and again and again. Unless the party can find the Arch-Hag's anathema, basically an object that represents its deepest, darkest hate, but a good hag will keep that hidden. What do you think NDAs are for? Now I know what you're thinking. I gotta call an Arch-Hag right now. And while they'll absolutely decimate most parties, it is true that this malicious mage is only CR 21, so it might struggle to absolutely eviscerate and embarrass higher level parties. But before you call in and complain, no refunds by the way, here are some offerings that can make your hag experience even better. First is hit points. Despite a high AC and lots of resistances, 333 average HP isn't the highest it could be. Consider bumping that up to at least 400, maybe higher, if you have a party that deals a lot of damage each round. Second is mobility. 40 feet of regular walking means the Arch-Hag isn't the most nimble foe, and will rely a lot on Dimension Door to escape the party. That's all well and good, but do you really want to spend a legendary action, or even a full action on their turn just to move around the battlefield? Instead, what hag is complete without their broomstick? A broom of flying will let your witch zoom through the air with ease, and out of reach of those pesky melee attacks. Lastly, fighting an Arch-Hag inside its lair should basically be a death sentence. I mean, that's what we're trying to do here, right? But the new monster manual doesn't really provide the sort of lair actions of old that enemies can use during combat. So make some up. On initiative count 20, you can have the hag's trinkets come to life and swarm the party, magical brews splash out of cauldrons and turn your players into frogs, or even reveal deals the hag previously made and are now collecting on to aid them in the fight. With just a couple tweaks, your Arch-Hag's case will be ironclad, and your party is going away for a very long time. When your party needs to be put down, or you need a monster to shut them up, an Arch-Hag is the way to go. Is it ethical to throw an incredibly powerful monster at a low-level party just because they had to cancel one session? No. Do you give a damn? Definitely no. Arch-Hags. For a TPK without a hitch, hire this witch. The Arch-Hag is not liable for any poisoning, transformations, or magic-related deaths that occurs while working a case. Payment should be made in the form of favorite memories, firstborn children, or standard favor in dollars, your choice. Arch-Hags do not accept cases involving Twilight Clerics, decks of many things, or their anathema, obviously. All clients are required to register through the Hag's magic portal, and yes, fees apply, not licensed to practice law in the Feywild. Oh, and creature players.